All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Haikyuu, Season 4, Episode 12. All right, we are well into Nationals with one game fully under and won. That's a big deal. Karasuno is looking strong going into this Nationals setup here. However, this was not one of the crazy powerhouse teams.
Right.
This was one of the good teams that won their prefecture for sure. But they felt a lot like, in a lot of ways, like Karasuno's teams that they fought in the beginning of kind of tournaments of sorts of earlier seasons, where they had a lot of things refined and well done, but then some other things that were unrefined and that ended up being the instrument of their demise. Now,
so now, well, there's going to be a split in the course, so we only have a little bit left before we go on a break.
Right.
But we're probably on the road to, like, facing an actual powerhouse team and seeing what that looks like, or...
Well, not only that, we've got Karasuno firing on all cylinders and showing what they're capable of. So players that were maybe kind of looked at as, like, this is a good player on a team that's showing a little bit of promise. I mean, they beat Shiratorizawa, so they get a little bit of focus there. Now there's probably going to be a little bit of talk of, wait, Karasuno, like they're here, and kind of the buzz surrounding Nationals being a thing that they can focus on as well.
Yeah.
The buzz that not only is, you know, a team like this, like coming back from their days in the garbage, you know, what have you, now coming out there and showcasing some really good skills, not only on the individual levels with players like Kageyama, but combinations with players like Kageyama and Hinata's quick.
Right.
Again, it's something that not everyone in the world knows about. So it's like, oh my God, getting to see that is so exciting.
But I think they're due for a scary team, because we can't let them get comfortable, you know.
Right.
They had a good win there, and they were handicapped for the majority of it to make it interesting.
Right.
But now let's have them face a real challenge.
And maybe to showcase that this team is scary, let's have them, like, maybe let's have Karasuno watch or see a team get beaten that we're like, oh.
Yeah. Oh. That would be awesome.
That would be pretty legit. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, and then come back here for the discussion. All right, we got ourselves a really well-paced episode that just covered a whole bunch of little things.
Oh, yeah.
And wonderful.
And I love it because, that's a great point. They won one match, but that doesn't mean they go straight on to the next one, because all the other teams have to finish their matches. We have to touch base and see where they're at. You know, our players get some time to breathe before that next match. And we need to focus on things like Tanaka, you know, getting noticed by a childhood friend, you know, sort of, you know.
We're both at Nationals. You filled out rather well. And
you filled out rather well.
I mean, Tanaka's an earnest, good boy that has actually, like, moments of, like, sage just suaveness. So, I mean, Tanaka, you can't really screw this up. She likes you, dude.
She does.
She initiated. She gave 2 statements of endearment. And all you have to do is just not really reject her, and you'll be good. And I love how they're setting up something also so cheesy and dumb here. That they were just marveling at the probable amenities that they get by being in the fancier hotel. And then the girl is basically being like, hey, if you want to mingle, you know, hang out, like, you can come over. And he's going to be like, can my bros come too? And then they're going to basically score. And then they'll, like, get to eat with the buffet thing or something like that.
They probably have regulations that can't actually have stuff like that happen.
But come on. Let me dream the idea that she basically is like, I am the giver of meat. And then they all just come in, and then they're like, oh! And then they just bow constantly to her.
I cannot wait for Nishinoya to respond to what's going on here, because yes, you're absolutely right. He'll be like, "Oh my God, bro, that is awesome!" And then, like, at the same time, I'm at some point, I feel like there will be a point where then he has some sort of, like, existential crisis where he's like, "Wait a minute, it was always the two of us. It was always the two of us."
Right. Sure. I think what they also might be doing here is they're building up regardless of what happens between these two in terms of relationship, it'd be awesome. Like if they get into a legit relationship, but one of these teams is probably going to lose.
Yeah.
And at some point, one of them is going to have to, comfort the other, and that'll be awesome.
Yep.
But okay, we covered a whole bunch of teams and where they're at right now. We covered Fukurodani. Fukurodani is dealing with Imo Bokuto. And Akashi's doing everything he can to try and, manage that. But he doesn't even understand the full capacity of Bokuto-san. There's so much within the power of Bokuto and all of his, ridiculous kind of rules for, Bokuto.
Because as a proper Imo Bokuto, no one can truly understand him.
Of course not.
But then, of course, Hinata showing up with the Way of the Ace t-shirt, I mean, that suddenly, I understand that would make things all better, because that would be legitimately pretty awesome to have someone that's, one, because Hinata's good, right? He might not be Bokuto level, but he's really good, right? And to have him show up and be like, I'm excited to watch you play, and like, because didn't Bokuto have the same Way of the Ace t-shirt?
I think like, if anything, it was more that, like, Bokuto kind of used that in some way, like he echoed those things,
right? So it's literally Hinata coming back and being like, that thing that you said, I literally like have a shirt with it now because I think it's that cool, and now I'm really excited to watch you play and be awesome,
right? And Bokuto is very self-centered, like he's very much obsessed with himself,
definitely.
But the thing is that Akashi had to pull out all the stops. He contrived every bit of information he could to try and make this work. And it did, but Hinata was kind of like the ace in the hole that he never knew he had. And then he's like, oh, I see orange. Yeah, there's your student over there. And he's also like,
Well, because I feel like it's like that thing, since Akashi is basically Bokuto's like parent, guardian, whatever you want to call it. Bokuto probably doesn't fully believe the things that Akashi says. No, you're just saying that to make me feel better.
He totally. I mean, he has the ear of Bokuto. Like,
definitely. But when it's someone that is outside of the team that has
it's more
vested interest, it is more effective.
I will just say that I understand Bokuto on a very deep level. One of the things that is really hilariously funny about Bokuto is that when he's not even doing poorly, he's not in a good place. So it's not just that he's in his emo state or what have you. He wasn't getting blocked. He wasn't getting shut down. And he wasn't getting zero, tosses to him. He was actually getting tosses. But just the fact that one little thing, screwed him up or what have you in this, Akashi waited specifically for the perfect moment when all the factors were combined that then he could give him a toss that would set him up for ultimate success. Now, Bokuto is ridiculously good. And I think this is something that they're trying to showcase here. Bokuto made that work. He was triple blocked. They were forcing him directly to do a line shot. He couldn't do a cross shot. So he had to put it through the blockers. So he puts it through the pole and the leftmost blocker from his perspective into the very most corner of the court, scores the point. That sends him entirely over the edge. We get his hey.
Well,
and yes, the team in some ways props him up constantly in order to pull these wins.
They fluff up his feathers,
but it works.
It works.
It works.
And one of the other things that I think was really cool that they brought it up, but it's also easy to kind of forget because of the comedy of Bokuto's antics and everything, is the idea of, no, remember, you're good enough that you don't have to worry about pressure or stress or things like that. They just don't affect you. It's just whether you're feeling it today. Because but we're not in the big court area, so there's less people here. So when I'm awesome, not as many people will notice,
But now he had 100% attention. He was able to make this work. Okay, well, this kind of, I would say this setting, this place that he's in, means so much to him, but it wasn't really until he saw a little giant walking around here that he realized, oh my God, I am so grateful. I am so happy to be here. And we saw him with his like yandere excitement of just like, oh yeah, I am so happy to be here. And Kageyama's like, yeah. Like, Kageyama with his, like, You can almost, like, imagine when Kageyama smirks, he's, like, biting his bottom lip with, like,
and, like getting,
pleasure.
Like, triple chin.
Really excited because he's like, oh, yeah. Oh, so you're going to be at top form in this next game. And I think they're going to need it, y'all. Not only is Tanaka going to be in top form, Kageyama's going to be in top form, Hinata's going to be in top form. And I think a lot of the third years are going to be in top form as well because they encountered their senpais here.
Yep.
The team they're up against next had a bye.
Yeah. Like, I was wondering about that because when I saw them, I was like, wait a minute. Wait, hold on. The team that they just played, they're next to them. They're in the middle of 4. How does that work? Like, they already played them. And then, we went back and looked and,
they had a bye.
Okay.
They were seeded as one of probably...
All right.
I'm going to guess, just based on the number of teams, I'm going to guess that 6 to 8 teams got a bye. Probably. In fact, we could actually go back probably and look at the numbers and just do rough division. And then use some kind of thing based on how many sections there were, that there would probably be one team that got a bye per section. So I would guess... I'll guess 6 to 8 teams, which means this is one of the top 8 teams at worst.
Well, think about it this way. Okay, even though we haven't like heard that name before, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think we have.
Fukurodani didn't get a bye. Nekoma didn't get a bye.
Nope, because
Karasuno didn't get a bye.
Right, because we know that for instance, their prefecture was sending 3 teams, and they had a team that actually beat both of them, basically. Well, not beat both of them. They were at a higher standings in the prefecture there. So Nekoma and Fukurodani did not like get a bye in that regard. So
that's terrifying.
There are teams out there that I think, for example, what was his name? The boy who was talking trash about he's kind of the one that's being built up as the next kind of Oikawa, Miya Atsumu. We haven't attributed him to a team yet.
That is true.
So he could be in Inarizaki's team here.
Because Inarizaki, it sounds familiar.
It does sound a little familiar.
It sounds a little familiar, but I don't think we've actually heard it before. Because again, it's one of those things where none of the players on Karasuno made any commentary about, next we're going to be facing this team, right? And that's and that on the one hand is encouraging to me because it's not one of the teams that they were like keeping an eye out for, you know. But then at the same time, that's scary because they did get a bye. So
I think in a lot of ways, this team that we're coming up next to will be one of the toughest matches that Karasuno has ever had. Yeah. But Karasuno is still going to beat them. Now,
but it'll be
hard fought. Now, here's something that's really exciting about this episode as a whole.
Yeah.
They brought in Hoshiumi and had him and Hinata meet.
Yes.
What's really exciting about that is that Hoshiumi, as a player, represents everything Hinata is striving towards. Right. So you don't want to have him and Hinata facing in an early match.
Right.
Either never have them face at all, which then just builds up the hype for when they eventually face in like a future year of volleyball, even more exciting there. Or have him like constantly be destroying teams that Hinata really like cares about.
And then it's something where it's like maybe eventually they face, but it's way later and it's like later. In semifinals or finals or
some crazy like that, territory there.
Yeah.
He is a little bit building up in terms of his playability as a Kageyama. He has no flaws. Right. But his main flaw is his personality. And I liked that it was, again, regarding ego. Something that mirrors Kageyama in that regard. In his stature, as a player and physically, he is Hinata. He is another Hinata with, perfect execution.
Right.
He is a little too perfect, in my opinion. I think that is something that is just used to build up the hype of him as a player.
The fact that he did a jump serve service ace, like...
Well, I mean, anyone that's at Nationals should be able to do a jump serve. Like,
but he's so tiny.
I know. I know.
That's crazy.
I know, but 165 centimeters being ridiculously small in some ways.
And he does have crazy vertical leap. Like we don't know what his vertical leap is.
It's higher than 330.
But it's more than 333.
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Which means,
by the way, I love that. And
it's probably only by like 3 centimeters, though, or something like that.
Probably, but we don't know, which mystery. Therefore, it's scary.
Right.
But
right.
I love that Hinata added a centimeter to his height when, like, and he was still like, so Hinata is 5 whole centimeters shorter than this guy.
Right.
Yeah. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot.
I mean, it's 2 inches.
It's 2 inches, right?
Yeah. He didn't look like it, though.
No.
Yeah. He actually looked only like an inch shorter than him.
Yeah.
Maybe it's actually just that this kid is not only like a really good volleyball player, he's actually like a 5-head, massive, big cranium genius. So his skull actually like extends really high up into his massive like silver hair.
All that hair, it's sort of like, okay, where does the head actually start? Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually going to be just an actual like decent genius as well.
But
although we know he has some social ineptitude with regards to handling these things, and I think that is a good flaw because that is what they used for Kageyama way back when,
and it was a great way to characterize him of them sort of going into it that it's not just he has this for no reason. It's he's always been told, like, great job for your height, kind of a thing, right?
And he's like, can't I just be acknowledged? Can't you guys just be freaked out that I'm ridiculously good?
I'm just ridiculously good. My height has nothing to do with it. Yeah. But then the whole idea of the worst thing he would ever want to hear is you lost because of your height.
Right.
Like, oh man.
Yeah. I like that because it puts everything in some ways revolving around him.
Sure.
But in a realistic setting, he is going to draw a lot of attention because of his height.
Yep.
So these kinds of comments are ones that you're going to hear regardless of whether or not you want them to be.
Right.
When the average height that the reporter girl was talking about
180 centimeters.
180 centimeters. Now let's bring that up. We're in high school here, so this is not like 6'3" Joseph Joestar height, or something like that. But if that's the
average, then that means an equal number of people are above that versus below that. So that's and 180 centimeters is, I believe, 5'10".
I believe it's around there. Yeah,
it's somewhere around there.
It's pretty tall, I would say. However, it makes sense because they're in Japan, so everyone's going to be on average a little bit shorter than.
And they're in high school.
High schools,
like
and stuff like
they
that,
are in high school,
right?
So,
but
that's crazy.
I would say it makes sense. It seems like an average kind of bit for volleyball specifically, because you're going to have people that are 195 centimeters.
Well, you would selectively generally choose, like, this is volleyball at the nationals level, so it's
more people will be taller than
exactly right.
It's a basketball kind of situation, but maybe not as extreme.
Maybe not quite as extreme, but that's still the same kind of thing. Like, if there is someone that's really tall, they're going to snag him up, right?
Yeah. I liked the little kind of touch-ins with specific players on Karasuno. We have Kageyama kind of being all intense and serious, but he's like, I want to go check out the t-shirts too. Tsukishima just kind of lying back and being like, I need just to recover so I am no longer wary Shima.
Right.
I do not want to be called that again.
Even mentally, it's just nope.
Yeah. I loved that we got blanking on his name there. Nekoma as a team. Nekoma as a team kind of given that focus there, showing them beat their team, but then having Kuro, kind of talking some smack with there, when very clearly they are not anywhere near Karasuno as a bracket kind of. They're
not going to be facing each other anytime soon, but it's the thing of the rivalry still going strong, and they definitely put all the posturing up and stuff, right? But there's still the thing of, oh God, this is nationals.
Right. Oh God, this is nationals.
Oh God.
Anytime that we lose, we're out.
Yep.
So any team that loses, we won't be seeing them here for at least another year.
And I like that. Now, granted, of course, it's, team captain, so but the fact that it was Kuro and Daichi specifically.
I think it's Kuro, but
I'm pretty sure there's 2 O's. But anyways, but the fact that they're the ones sort of squaring off because they both have the same conflict, right? If they lose, they're done, right? It's not just that nationals is over; it's over. So,
the little focus with, I was kind of saving this for last, but little focus with our third years, Sugawara, Asahi, Daichi, talking with Tashito and Kurokawa.
Oh yeah, that was really cool.
What's really exciting about this was I wrongly assumed that they were in the same year. I think in some ways what they were implying, because they were both captains when they were first years and then when they were second years. I'm talking about they as in Asahi, Daichi, and Suga. I think one of them is older than the other, right? In that regard there. So it was once they each kind of hit third year, they became captain of the team overall. But there was this little bit of not only just encouragement, towards Karasuno being like, hey, win this. And they're like, yes, us, we got this.
Right.
There was this other bit of like, hey, those first years. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are first years?
Those are first years.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Just like, wow, you guys got lucky and really recruited some great players here. But what's exciting about this is that when they're kind of paying attention to them and being like, yeah, those first years. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Like, that's a big deal.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's kind of the rippling effect of the thing I was talking about, where the players that on Karasuno that are the new players, they're going to get like attention, like Bokuto levels of attention, where it's like, oh, dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a big deal. And also just the commentary track from the three of them on Hinata was the funniest.
That was absolutely great.
It's so good.
I love the way in Haikyuu there's reasons for there to be sort of the protagonist focus, because Hinata isn't the best player on Karasuno, but he's one of the ones that stands out like a sore thumb, right? Where it's how is that guy here, right?
Yeah.
Where with like Kageyama, of course everyone's going to talk about Kageyama because he's a god of volleyball, right? But then it's like, but this kid, that kid, he's really here.
Yeah,
he's that good.
What's the deal there?
Yeah, like the whole stare off, that Hoshiumi and Hinata had, where it's the,
if I look away, I lose.
Right, if I look away, I lose. What position are you? Middle blocker.
Hoshiumi is like, I just lost a lot of my unique snowflake kind of factor
exactly.
there.
I don't like that.
I'm not going to stand out as much because they're going to probably pit us together and be like, oh, look, you guys are exactly the same.
And in some cases, because Hoshiumi, he doesn't like to be given any special attention because of his height.
But we've also skills do the talking,
Yeah, let my skills do the talking, but we've also seen that he acknowledges to himself that his height is a disadvantage, right? So there's a part of me that wonders if the fact that he didn't mention anything when Hinata told him his height, he didn't say I won there. He said I won when he talked about the vertical leap, right? So maybe that means that the fact that Hinata's shorter than him, he actually sees it as like because that means that anything you do, people will magnify it in the same way because you're smaller and all that stuff, and then blah blah blah.
Right. So it's not just a thing of where he's got that complex thing of wanting to be seen for his skills specifically,
right?
But he also kind of likes being on the general broad picture kind of thing, looked at as you are the most surprising player here.
Yes.
And now he's not the shortest.
Right.
Which means, in that respect, it's not necessarily going to be just what is your height, jump, what have you, your vertical jump. It's, wow, you're the shortest person here, so we're going to give you the interviews, but your skills are not nearly as good as Hoshiumi's.
Right.
So Hoshiumi's like, I have to stand out even more here.
Well, and also
because of this.
Well, and the idea that, Hinata was thinking, I need to be taller in order to make sure I don't lose. But that's probably not what it was for Hoshiumi. But then the fact that Hoshiumi's like, okay, I won on vertical leap. But then there's going to be that part of him that's like, wait, but I'm 4 centimeters, 4 centimeters taller than this guy. So of course my vertical leap would be higher. Wait, I'm angry. I don't like this. And that's just going to build up the rivalry even more, even though Hoshiumi is a far superior player.
Absolutely. But it's exciting being in the tournament arc kind of feeling again for Haikyuu. I feel like in previous times where we were in this situation, like in the second season specifically, I feel like they did a really good job of building up the intensity of that, because we knew in some ways that Karasuno was going to defeat Shiratorizawa the second time around, but there were these other teams that were in the play there that you got to see them bump up against teams like Aoba Johsai and be like, oh my god, Datico's actually giving you know, Seijo a tough time. Like, okay. And in this case here, we have no clear end game.
Right.
There is no way we can predict who's facing who when.
Yep.
Who's getting eliminated by who when. So there's so many factors here that I'm just overwhelmed by it. But I feel like this show is like selling us as the audience short by not giving us the goddamn roster standings, like all those brackets. If they gave them to me, I swear to you, I could probably like mind game this.
But that's there's probably a few reasons why they don't. One, because it would give away a bunch, but also it's too huge. Like at the end they said, you know, they said they were like, you know, today 40 teams got sent home, you know, or whatever. It's like that's insane. That's insane.
Now, we don't know if that was just 40 teams on the guys' side of things. In fact, it probably wasn't. It was
it was probably across the both of them, right?
In both sides of
things.
In
both sides. And that's right, because that's, you know, how many teams would that have to be that we're playing in order for 40 teams to go home? Yeah.
Because we know how many teams actually had buys. Oh my god. We could math this in between this next episode and the next.
So assume, symmetry for boys and girls teams.
Right.
Then that means 20 teams lost, which means there were 47 or 49.
We don't know. That's the thing. How many teams got eliminated?
No. How many teams sent from prefixtures?
No. Because we don't know. I'll go back and check.
Oh, okay.
But based on that, we can determine how many teams had buys.
Right. Divide by 2, or multiply the 20 by 2, 40, subtract 40 from whatever the
big brain. And then we'll find out what number of teams in Arizaki is the best of in terms of seedings for the whole brackets bit.
Best, you know, in the top 9 or top 7 or whatever it is, you know, out of nationals.
Semblance of galaxy brain here.
That's, oh boy, this is going to be tough.
All right. Whew. We've got ourselves the last episode of this coming cour of Haikyuu until we go on a break with all y'all and wait a whole season before Haikyuu comes back.
Oh,
hopefully just that. Now, there is a lot of macro global stuff going on right now.
Could definitely delay things.
Definitely delay things. But I love that we're getting a full season of Haikyuu. And we are also in this kind of nationals arc, just getting actual focus on teams that are not Karasuno. They're not showing us full games,
right? That's fine.
Which is unfortunate. Like
they'll probably start doing that once it gets later, and you know, and they're more high stakes games. You know,
I hope so. I don't think they're necessarily going to actually.
Okay,
just based on the pacing and flow of this, I feel like if they were to do that, then this nationals arc is so ridiculously big that it's continuing well into season 5.
Well, and that makes sense then why the build-up took a while. You know, because it's like, okay, this is nationals. Like once this starts, it doesn't stop for a long time. So let's make sure everything's taken care of before then.
There are so many arcs that built up specifically to this to this moment here. Hinata is playing on the same stage as the Little Giant and where he kind of made the name for himself. The third years are basically fulfilling the dream of their senpais and their own dream that Daichi kind of heralded moving forward into things this year. Kageyama is playing at such a level to where he will be noticed on the world stage to where he can eventually become the greatest volleyball player in the world. We have all these other teams that I would say we don't really get into as much their motivations, dreams, and goals and what have you, but we're getting to see them play in an impassioned, competitive setting where not all of them are going to, you know, make it. So that's exciting. And also the big one I would say that I'm holding out for is we're eventually going to get the rivalry match, hopefully. Nekoma and Karasuno. Battle at the garbage dump. And it's going to feel like everything else just doesn't exist. It's just our two teams finally getting to face each other in a way where we get to go all out.
And then one of them is going to be sent home forever.
And third years will cry because their careers
win or
in high
lose,
school
they'll cry.
Are over. But that's just some hype stuff we're going to have to wait for with all y'all. So thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, you can't because we're watching these seasonally week to week with all y'all. Yep. But check out the link in the description below for our Patreon where you can get full-length timer reactions there. And any level support gets you access to our Discord where you can chat with us and our awesome community there about Haikyuu. There are anime-onlys in there and then manga people in there as well. You can talk about any of that. You can talk with us as well about storytelling, characters, what have you, like Jacob's sci-fi novel that he wrote.
That's right. Does it have a tournament arc? Well, that would be spoilers, but I wrote a sci-fi novel called Battle Lines, and it's really cool, and it's on Amazon if you want to go check it out. Link in the description. Go get it.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see it there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.